everyone. Good evening. Thank you so much for joining us at today's workshop. This session is a part of the 36-hour virtual hackathon which we at CrossKnot Hacks are organizing. I'll share the link to check out and apply for the hackathon in the live chat. So today it's a great honor to have with us Saksham. He's a cloud intern at Whizlabs and AWS community builder. Cloud computing is strong and expensive, and it will continue to grow and give several benefits in the future as if it's very cost effective and businesses can use it to expand themselves, which is a reason that day by day people are switching onto that. Hence, in this session, Saksham will be talking about what is cloud, why to use cloud, and how one can start with their cloud journey. You can put your doubts in the live chat, which Saksham will answer by the end of the session. So let's get into it. Over to you, Saksham.
Well, thank you, Anushka. I hope I'm perfectly audible and visible, right? If you can confirm. I guess I am. Okay, great. Hi everyone. Saksham this side, and yeah. So I guess Anushka has given my introduction and what would the session all about today. So let's just start with it, and start with what is cloud and why there is so much hype of this particular technology. Like each and every other technical domain requires the use of cloud because it increases the efficiency of that. So my ideology of teaching is like or delivering a session is that why was there need to develop that particular technical domain, and what were the problems arise before the introduction of cloud. That's why obviously cloud was introduced, because obviously earlier the introduction of cloud, organizations and big MNCs were working. Why was there is a constant need of this particular technology? So I'll just view the slide share. Great. So before cloud, right? What were the major problems that were there? First one, stack of servers, right? So before, I take an example of it. For example, you own a big organization or you own a big MNC, right? So for example, like Amazon, Flipkart and Myntra, they sell their services, they sell their products through a web application, right? You have your web application, but you need a server to onto which you can deploy the web application so that the users or the consumers can use it and use the services and the products that you offer. And since you're a very huge organization, you're a huge MNC, you don't require one or two servers, right? You require thousands of servers, and to accumulate, to assemble all such a huge amount of servers, you need a data center, okay? And to set up a data center, you require first I'll explain what is a data center. So data center is basically a accumulation, collection of servers where the servers work, are configured, and are managed in that particular building, or you can say a data center. So for setting up a data center, you require a perfect land, and by perfect land I mean a land which is very less prone to a natural calamity or natural disaster. Because if a natural disaster occurs, the whole of this data center, the whole of the servers, all your application will just go down. So require a land, require a place which is less prone to that, a natural calamity or any other disasters, right? For example, you get a land, you set up a data center. The major problem is buying such a huge amount of servers. Now, buying such thousands of servers requires a huge investments. And for startups and for companies that have just started, investing such huge amount of money is not beneficial, obviously, because they have just started. They have a limited amount of money. So buying those servers, a huge amount of servers, was the first problem. Okay, stack of servers. Second was managing and monitoring them. You have to dedicate a whole bunch of team to manage those servers. I'm not exaggerating this, but 60 to 70% of the electricity that is being used by a data center go to cool down those servers, because those servers generate such huge amount of heat. They need to maintain the temperature, and these 60 to 70% of power just go to cooling them, right? And as I said, you need a whole bunch of team that have to look after those servers, whether they are working fine or not. If some servers are down, they should ensure the team should ensure that it is up and running as soon as possible. Regular health checkup should be done. So other than the main motive of your business, the main motive of your organization, you have to dedicate dedicate the time, you have to dedicate manpower, you have to dedicate a lot of money invested in that. So this was the second problem, managing and monitoring the whole of the data center. The third major problem was the variable traffic. And take the same example. Just a second. Yeah. So for example, you have an organization, right? Your website is deployed in the servers, it is running in the data center. Now suddenly there is a huge hike in the workload. Suddenly a huge number of people are start to use the web application, and there is so much pinging in your server. Obviously, such a huge amount of load cannot be handled by a limited amount of servers. So you require some extra servers. Now buying those extra servers, assembling in the data center, configuring them requires a lot of time, right? Until then, the customers have to wait. Now, if the customers have to wait, they would rather go to some other application. They would rather use some other company's web application, because your organization is making them wait, which is not obviously uh, beneficial for customer satisfaction. Okay, take the opposite of it. So suppose the number of people who are using the web application decreases, but the number of servers are still intact, right? You have suppose 20 servers, but the number of users are only 5. So only 5 servers would be used, rest of the 15 servers would remain idle. But you can't switch them off simply, because you never know the next minute the number of users who are using the application increases. So you have to keep those servers on, which uses the electricity power, uses the manual power of the team, because the team have to look after managing and monitoring. So those the amount of servers are idle, doing nothing, just using your time, just using your money, and using the space. So these were the major problems, buying such a huge amount of servers, managing and monitoring them, and managing the variable traffic. So what this organization did was to introduce cloud computing. Now, what is cloud computing, right? This is a buzzword actually in this particular era, but no one is actually clear about this particular term, this particular technology. So cloud computing is made of two words, cloud plus computing, right? Now this is very interesting. There is a story behind why this particular technology, this particular domain was named cloud computing and not some other thing, right? So that you go all around the world, there are clouds, right? You go anywhere, any part of this globe, you can see clouds are present there. And now in this particular century, in this modern era, with the advancement of technology, same is with the internet. You go at any part of the world, internet is present there. You can use the service of internet. So contrary to we what do you say, took cloud as that of internet, because both of these terms, both of these things are present all over the world. So cloud represents internet, and by computing, I guess must be clear. The word speaks of for itself. Computing means compute power. For example, servers, storage power. So, for example, hard disk, RAM, and network bandwidth. So that's how cloud computing came into picture. Now, what is cloud computing? So, on a very layman language, cloud computing is provisioning and deprovisioning of resources over the internet by some third party vendor to the consumers. So earlier I explained you that you are an MNC, you own a web application, and you want to deploy your web application to some to servers. Now instead of buying such huge amount of servers, why not rent it from some other company, some other organization? So you deploy your web application to their servers, use it till you want to use it, and only pay till the time you're using it. And after your work is done, you simply stop using the services and you stop paying for them. So in this way, startups, small businesses, and even bigger MNCs and organizations can save a huge amount of time, save a huge amount of money, right? Our second problem was managing and monitoring. If you are using their servers, their services, some third-party vendor services, their team would only manage the servers. You just need to deploy a website. You needn't give your team to manage the servers upon which your website is there. So the organization that providing you that is renting you the services, the servers, the storage power or network bandwidth, with itself manage those servers, right? Third is variable traffic. So if for example, the number of people that are accessing your what you say web application has increased, so automatically from the third party vendor the number of servers would increase. Now for example, the number of users who are using your application decreases, so from their end, from third party end's end, the number of servers that are provisioned to you, that are given to you, would decrease. So it will save your money, it will save your time, so, and you can invest that particular time and money in your business that could increase your profit, obviously, right? So this was cloud computing in a very simple term that I would explain. Moving forward, now why cloud? There will be obviously some benefits of cloud, that's why it is it's so much of use, and that is why so each and every technology that is been there is using it. So first benefit is ubiquitous. Now ubiquitous, now the what is ubiquitous? By the word ubiquitous, I mean that the service of the cloud is can be accessed, can be used from anywhere around the globe. That's why cloud came into picture. So yeah, obviously, like, there is one requirement: you should have an internet connection. So no matter what, you are at any place around the world, you can easily use the services of the cloud, right? First benefit. Second benefit was availability. Now by availability, I mean that the services and features and the products that cloud offers to its consumers are available 24/7. So for example, consider an example that your organization need a server at around 1 a.m. in the night. Now if cloud wasn't there at 1 a.m., where would you go to buy the server? Where would you configure it? But with the introduction of cloud, you can simply open up your laptop, go to the cloud provider, the vendor's web application, easily, rent some servers from them, no matter at what time it is, and it would be available to you, and you can easily use the service. So one of the greatest feature and one of the advantageous feature of cloud was availability. The services were available at any time you wanted, and yeah, it was it never went down. It was one of the greatest advantage. Third benefit was scalability and elasticity. So yeah, I guess I explained this like for example, your website is being hosted in one of the servers in AWS is Amazon Web Service, which is cloud platform which is offered by AWS, offered by Amazon. Okay, so your website is deployed in the server, and suddenly the number of users that are using that particular website increases by for example, there are two servers which are you are renting from AWS, and the number of users, suppose they become 100. Now those two servers would be it would be difficult for those servers to handle the amount of pinging which are being done by the 100 users. So what would cloud do? It would simply add more servers, that is being scaled up. So from 2 the number of servers become 10 at just a snap of finger. So the 100 users that have been using a web application, they can easily use without any problem or with any disturbance. So, and other than that, for example, there are 10 servers, right, and there are about 15 users. 10 servers are handling the workload of 15 users. Now suddenly the number of users decreased to suppose 5. Now there are 5 users and there are 10 servers. Obviously it would cost you more because the servers are more and the amount of workload is very less. So what would cloud do? It would reduce the number of servers which are rented to you, so that your cost is saved and your web application and your users still can access your particular web application or any application you're hosted. So this is third advantage: scalability and elasticity. The fourth is pay as you go. So this is one of the major feature of cloud, right? It helps you save money, a huge amount of money, I must say. So you only pay for the services that you are using, the cloud services that are using, only till the time being you are using. So for example, you rented one server for 10 days from AWS. So you rented EC2. So EC2 is like a type of server. It is a configuration of a server. So you ask AWS, okay, hey AWS, I want to rent this one server for 10 days. AWS rents you the server. You use it for 10 days and only pay for those 10 days. And when your work is over, you just stop using the service and stop paying. So this is pay as you go. You use the service, you pay for the service for that particular time. The last one being is easy to use. So, for using cloud computing, for using the services of cloud, you do not require professionals, or you need not buy hire professional to use those services. You can easily buy, after 1 or 2 hours of research, you can easily use those resources by your own. That is, that's how it is easy to use the cloud technology and integrate with your, other technologies, or any other application that you have made. So these were the major applications, and why was there a need to introduce a cloud, and how cloud solved the problems which were there in the traditional way, when companies used to own their own data centers. So how cloud solved that particular problem. Moving forward, deployment models. So by deployment models, I'll refer that there are types of cloud, right? So cloud can be divided into three categories, major three categories. First one being public cloud. So I'll also explain this by an example. So for example, you book a taxi, for example Uber. You book a Uber, you put the location, the taxi comes, you go to the particular location that you want, and you pay it. Okay, and that taxi is for general use, anyone can book it, right? So it is not constrained that only these amount of people, or only this particular section of the society can order the taxi. Anyone can use it and pay for it till the time you're using it. Same is with public cloud. Now, the services of the public cloud are being offered by AWS, GCP, and Microsoft Azure. AWS is Amazon Web Services, as I said, which is offered by Amazon. GCP is Google Cloud Platform, which is offered by Google, and Microsoft Azure, with the name says it, offered by Microsoft. So any general public, you, I, and anyone who wants to use the services of public cloud can simply search in their laptops about AWS, GCP, and Azure, use the services that they want, pay for that particular use, and when they are done with their work, you can just stop using the service. So this is public cloud, available to the general public, and it is highly scalable. So right, so for example, you suddenly need a lot of servers. I don't want these amount of that is coming is not that much, so I want to deprovision those servers. So it can be easily deprovisioned. So it is easily scalable. It can be scaled down, scaled up, and scaled down according to the needs and demands of the customer. Okay, so this is public cloud, easily available. Second one being private cloud. So private cloud can be compared to owning your own vehicle. So for example, you have your own car, right? So only you and your family members can use it. It is not available for the general public, right? So any stranger can't come up to you and say, hey, I want to go there, so can you please drop it? Obviously you'll say no, right? Because it's your car, you have owned it. Same is with private cloud. So companies and big organization have their data centers, and in that particular data center, a cloud environment is been configured, and the services that particular data center and that particular cloud environment offers can only be used by the members and by the employees of that particular organization or MNCs, or you can say a small section of the society, or only authenticated people can use those services. Obviously it is very expensive. So you would ask, like, why don't we use public cloud? It is cheap, it is highly scalable, you can use any number of resources, and you need not manage the servers, right? You need not manage the services. So why not use the public cloud instead of private cloud? Okay, I'll explain, give the reason why organizations use private cloud. Consider military organization, consider important government offices. Now they can't just put their data there, in some public cloud, some third party organization. Obviously there is a security risk. The third party organization can easily fetch the data and can use it, can blackmail them, and can use for there can be chances can use it against their organization. For example, military records, it can't be just put in some public platform which can be accessed by anyone, right? So for that, private cloud is required, because it offers an extra layer of security, it offers an extra layer of privacy. It is obviously expensive, and the number of resources that are offered by public cloud is not that much scalable. But security and privacy, in terms of security and privacy, it is much higher than public cloud. So that's why there is the need of private cloud, why private cloud is being used. Moving to third, it is called hybrid cloud. So you have your own car, you use your own car, but you require one more car. For example, your family members have increased, and so you order a Uber and you order a taxi. So in addition to using your own car, you also book another car or another taxi. Same is with the hybrid cloud. Organizations sometimes use the services of both private cloud and public cloud. So again, an example, there is a company and there is one set of data which requires lot of security, lot of privacy, and there is another set of data which requires lot of storage, which requires lot of processing, but it does not require a lot of security or a lot of privacy. It can be if it got into hand in some other organization, it wouldn't be of that much loss for the company, right? So what these companies do, the set of data which is very secured, which requires a lot of privacy, they put it into private cloud in their own data center where the cloud environment has been configured. Whereas the set of data which is which requires a lot of memory and what a lot of storage and does not require that much of privacy and security, they can easily put in public cloud. So that way you can use both private and public cloud, and it helps to save money. It is more efficient, and but one disadvantage of it is that it requires a major skill set. So implementing hybrid cloud is a bit complex and a bit difficult, but obviously it's something which is more difficult to implement has more advantages, right? So yeah, same is with the hybrid cloud. So these were the three major types of cloud. Public cloud can be accessed by general public, by anyone, me, you, or any other stranger. Second one, private cloud, can only be accessed authenticated or by some group of people who have owned it, but it adds an extra layer of security. Third one is hybrid cloud, which provide the advantages and features of both private as well as public cloud. I hope it is clear to you all. So these are also called the deployment models. How the services can be deployed. So it can be deployed in three various ways: public, private, and hybrid. Moving forward, the service models. Okay, so the services that are being offered by the cloud can also be divided into various categories. So there are actually three categories in which the services of the cloud can be deployed. So yep, I would explaining by this particular diagram. So the three categories are IaaS, PaaS, and SaaS. IaaS stands for infrastructure as a service, PaaS stands for platform as a service, SaaS stands for software as a service. First is IaaS. So you have your web application, you're using your own operating system, you're using your own database, but you just require a server, you just require network bandwidth, you just require storage, you extra storage and extra server and extra networking bandwidth. So that is what IaaS provides, by the term infrastructure. The underlying hardware, the underlying infrastructure is just provided by the cloud server. Rest the application code, the platform on which it would be deployed would be managed by the company itself. Okay, so the cloud platform will only manage what I say, the server, the compute power, and the network bandwidth. Rest all of it, the application, the database you're using, and other development tools would only be managed by you itself. Okay, moving a step further is PaaS. So in addition to servers, in addition to network bandwidth, in addition to storage, cloud would also provide a platform in which you can deploy, right? Operating system it would provide, the database it would provide, other development tools it would provide. So in addition to the infrastructure that you require for deploying your application, it will also provide you an app platform to which your application can be deployed. So you just need to write the code of your particular application. Rest all of it, the platform, the underlying infrastructure would be managed by cloud itself, right? Third one is software as a service, and in this particular thing, each and every service, even the application code is provided by the cloud vendor. So one example of SAS is I can see it's Gmail, it's Google Drive. So Google Drive in itself is a application, right? You just need to upload the things, and yeah, your work is done. So the application code for Google Drive, the platform of the Google Drive, the underlying infrastructure that is being used by the Google Drive is managed and provided by the cloud vendor itself. So these are the major three categories, and you can say major three levels. So the first level means IaaS, only the infrastructure, right? The rest, the platform and the application code for your particular web application or any application would be managed by you. Second level, PaaS. In addition to the infrastructure, the underlying hardware, you'll also be provided by a platform on which your application can be deployed. So you just need to write your application code for your particular production, and rest everything would be provided you by the cloud vendor. Third one is SaaS. So you just need to pay the cloud vendor, rest everything, even the application would be provided you by the cloud vendor. Another example is Gmail, right? We all use Gmail, we send mails, we receive mails. So what it is software as a service. It is a cloud service which is provided by GCP. We have Microsoft Outlook, right? Outlook is another cloud service, software as a service, which is provided by Microsoft, right? So the application code you need to, you don't need to worry like how Outlook would be managed, how Gmail would be managed. You just write your email, send it, you receive your emails, finished. Rest all of it, the backend of it would be managed by the cloud vendor itself. Okay, moving forward, cloud providers. Okay, before cloud providers, if anyone has any doubt, okay, the doubts would be kept at the end. Okay, great. So cloud providers. Okay, there are many cloud providers, right? But the three major cloud providers are Amazon Web Services, Microsoft Azure, and Google Cloud. Okay, so being on the top, it is AWS. AWS is the one of the best, I must say, cloud providers, because you can easily use the service. Even anyone who don't have much knowledge of cloud, if you go to AWS and browse in Google, you could easily get to know how it is organized. You can, the documentation that AWS provides, it's very good. So any layman who does not have much knowledge of this particular technology can also use this, the services of AWS. That's why it's always on the top. It's always, mostly used. Netflix is completely deployed in AWS. Second is Microsoft Azure. Okay, so Microsoft Azure is also, gaining the pace. It's improving its platform, but yeah, it's also great. And I guess in more than 10 to 15 years, I would say it would exceed AWS and become one of the best cloud providers. And third one being GCP or Google Cloud Platform. I must say that if you want to start with cloud, right, documentation is the best thing you can start with. And the best I have used all of the three cloud platforms, and the best documentation I've felt, any cloud platform provide is by GCP. So you can start with GCP, and you can use this, read through it what is cloud. But before using the services, I must say, like, you go to there is one course in Coursera. I will share the link of it. It will clear all of your basics of cloud, networking, how it is done, the back end of cloud, how it is completely managed, and etc etc. So furthermore, talking about the job opportunities in this field, I will not exaggerate, or I'm not saying more of it, but I would say that the position or the job opportunities that cloud provide is so much high that the number of professionals who have well versed with cloud, who know much, have good knowledge of cloud, but are very low. So if you gain a bit of knowledge of cloud, if you practically implement of what is clouded, implement in your projects, I would say you'll have an upper hand, in your future career. And cloud is not in itself like, okay, I have learned cloud, it would be finished. You will always need another technology. So whether it is AIML, whether it is blockchain, it is IoT, it has become a necessity to use cloud computing. And organizations now are completely shifting to cloud, right? So they, instead of deploying their data and managing their data in their own data center in the traditional way, everything is now being deployed to cloud. So talking about job opportunities and future careers, it is of, I must say, great, it is a very bright scope, like if you are focusing on cloud. And yeah, like that is that. And so, for example, taking of AIML, talking of AIML, so sometimes you have to train a model in AIML, and you require a lot of processing power, you require a lot of storage power, right? So you wouldn't buy a server, use storage or network bandwidth just to train your model. Instead of that, what companies do, they simply rent it from some cloud provider, train their model, process it according to their needs, and yeah, it is done. So you see, like it has become a necessity of other technologies to use the services of cloud computing. And yeah, one major way to enter into cloud is projects. That is obviously there. So make good projects, implement the services of it, because practical implementation is the best way to learn anything. You'll make mistakes, but I guess being in a college, uh, is you are, what do you say, granted to make mistakes. You can easily make mistakes, but when you're corporate world, that margin of making mistakes is tremendously reduced. So make projects, do mistakes, learn from them, and obviously, at the end of your 4 years or 3 years of your college, you would be that much confident that you can work in any good MNC or very good organization. The second good way to learn about cloud is certifications. So there are AWS, there is GCP and Microsoft Azure that offer very good certification. So to start with it, you can use AZ900, which is offered by Microsoft Azure. It's like fundamentals of cloud. So it will teach you about basics of cloud and the basic services that Microsoft Azure. For AWS, you can pursue for AWS practitioner exam, which is again basics of cloud and basics of services of AWS. Google Cloud does not offer, for anyone who is novice, but for associate level, for the second level, you can go for GCP. So do certifications. And Microsoft also organizes various events and various webinars and workshops through which you can get free vouchers. So for example, $150 voucher you can easily get for free if you attend various events of Microsoft Azure. Some same goes for AWS, but Azure does offer lot of services, lot of vouchers for free. Third one is being a part of communities. So I'm an AWS community builder right now. So being an AWS community builder, or being a community which favors cloud, is also a very good opportunity for you all, because the perks that you offer, the connections that you make, is like it can't be explained in words. There is one program you all must know. There is MLSA, Microsoft Learn Student Ambassadors. So I force my juniors or my batchmates also to do take part in communities, because by being part of communities you get free vouchers, you get good project ideas, because their community is a collection of people. There are peers who are cloud oriented, if the community is cloud oriented, so you can learn from them, get ideas from them, and make projects with them, collaborate with them. In that way you can literally excel in your future career, and you can mark the beginning of your cloud journey. So even if you have not started, or even if you're thinking, okay, it would be difficult to start, it would be the cloud computing, it is very fancy word, how would I do, it would be obviously difficult, everyone is doing it, etc., etc., don't focus on that. Just focus on how will you do it, how will you make projects, how will you implement the service, plan things out. And obviously I'll say, and as I said, the ratio of the number of jobs in cloud and the number of professionals who are skilled in cloud is very less. So if you even get a intermediate knowledge of cloud, you'll actually have a very good upper hand of it, and you'll really excel in your future careers. So yeah, this was all about it. I guess I'll just take up questions if anyone has. So yeah, if anyone has any question. Okay, I guess there is one question. What skill set is required in hybrid cloud? Suryansh, see, hybrid cloud doesn't. does not require any skill set or that. So hybrid cloud is just using the features of both private cloud and public cloud. But using individually hybrid cloud, I wouldn't suggest it because it would cost you a lot. And because for private cloud you need to have your own data center, and for I wouldn't recommend you to for learning hybrid cloud buy your own data center. So for hybrid cloud you just need to have good cloud concepts. You need to practically implement cloud. So if you have good knowledge of cloud, you can easily use public cloud or private cloud or hybrid cloud. So it is not that public cloud is different or private cloud is different. Implementation is same, just that the advantages are different. So private cloud just offers a one extra layer of security. Rest everything is same. So hybrid cloud is like, if you have good concepts of cloud, good implementation of cloud, you enter any organization, big organization, they would surely be using hybrid cloud. So you can use from that. But as of now, I would say focus on public cloud because it would be more beneficial to learn. It would help you more to learn. So start your journey with public cloud, and yeah, and further steps further, like I'm pretty sure you'll get a chance to enter big organization, big MNCs like Google, to use a hybrid cloud. So yeah, that is that. I hope I was able to answer your question. Uh, any other question? I see in comments. So please give some tips for how can we use cloud computing and some ideas too. Sure. So yeah, I guess like CrossKnot is doing great work. You guys must be knowing that it's organizing a hackathon, and always say projects are the best way to implement any technology. And in hackathons, what you do, you obviously make projects. So you can, in for example, you're making a project in hackathon. You have a web application, okay, or say you need to deploy it, but you don't know, like any other organization is charging a lot of money. So instead of that, you can easily deploy it in cloud. So you can use Heroku. It's also a cloud platform. You can deploy a web application in Heroku, the servers of Heroku. So you are using their servers, but the web application is yours. So it means like your web application is running in their servers. So you can implement in that way. You can start with the implementation of that. So yeah, that is that. Other than that, you can use monitoring tools. You can there's one service which is CloudWatch by AWS. So it does, so to monitor how much service you are using, monitor how much cost you have to pay. You can easily use that particular service. That would keep you informed that okay, this much amount of cost has been done and you have to pay this much amount. So you can yourself manage it yourself, uh, what do you say, analyze that till how much time I have to use the services. So there are a lot of services. Amazon in itself offers 250 plus services. So you see the vast amount of products and vast amount of features that AWS offers. So one time I was talking to one employee of AWS. So he himself thought that we also don't know all of the services of AWS, because keeping in mind and implementing all those 250 to 300 services is obviously a tough task. So I wouldn't say focus on each and every service. Just focus on how you can implement it. And the best way is make projects. You will face some difficulty. You go to search on Google and you'll say, okay, this is the good solution, this is good service in cloud that I can implement in it. So yeah, search for it, research about it, and you are very good to go. And yeah, do focus on certification. They're also very good to you can learn more of it. And if you're sitting in any job opportunity, you'll obviously get a plus point. You'll obviously get the upper hand in that, in any interviews. So yeah, that is that. Okay, there is one question by Naresh. What is the difference between cloud and traditional data centers? Okay, traditional data centers mean, for example, okay, Naresh, for example, you have your MNC, you have your company, okay. Traditional data center mean you buy thousands of servers, you literally pay for those thousands of servers and install in data center. So what is a data center? I explained it earlier. A data center is actually a collection, an assembly of those servers. So all of those servers are stored in that particular data center, right? I explained the problems with it. You have to buy so much of servers. Obviously, investment would be there. Manage and monitor. You have to, dedicate a huge amount of team that would just look like whether the servers are working fine or not. Third one is variable traffic. For example, the traffic increases, you need to add more servers. The traffic decreases, the cost would incur in your only data center because you can't close the data servers, right? But with cloud, it's like you just need to use the service, rest all of it, managing it. You need not buy the service, right? You are renting it. So by renting, I mean uh, you're using it for a particular amount of time, using it for some amount of time, and your work is done, you just stop using it. Okay, second is managing monitoring. The managing of those servers, the monitoring of the service that you're using will be done by the cloud vendor itself. So the team that you would dedicate to manage a traditional data center, you can easily dedicate to some other work, some other productive work, right? So yeah, that is the major difference between cloud and what do you say, traditional data center. Full utilization of resources, cost is very less. You have to pay very less, so it is very beneficial for startups and what do you say, the companies that have been started. Okay, how much that does it cost approx? Suryansh, you're asking about traditional data centers or of cloud? If you're asking for traditional data centers, it is approximately. I just read it, but yeah, it costs you around 10 to 15 crores for setting up a data center. So yeah, it is that. Oh, for cloud, okay. So if you're using server for a month, if you're using a server of, for example, AWS, it would cost you around $15 to $20 for a month. It depends on, it's actually depends on services to service, right? And how much do you use? So you can search about it. Yep, that is that. Any other question, guys? Do you have having?
There's one more. Do we need to know coding for cloud computing? If yes, then which one?
Okay. So cloud as such does not require coding like that, but you need to learn one scripting language. So you can go with Python or you can go with Bash, but in cloud you need not require so much of coding or so much of knowledge of data structure or algorithm, I must say. But yeah, one scripting language to learn, it is like a plus point in yours. But in cloud, one major thing is only projects. If you make projects in cloud, you are like informed about cloud. So yeah.
I think that's it
Any
for the questions.
Okay, great. Also, guys, I must say, like, CrossKnot is doing great work. So do register for their hackathon, and I was just checking out their website and the sponsors they are doing. So, and I think that hackathon is a major way through which you can learn. You can implement your thoughts, you can implement your ideas, and even if your project isn't complete, you have your you can implement in some furthermore years of your college. So do participate, I must say, because it is the experience. It does not matter if you lose or if you win. It is the experience. You'll have great experience doing it. You'll make good connections with people. You'll have a great experience about it. So I must say, do register for this hackathon, and I'll assure you that the work they are doing, it's very applauded, should be commendable. So yeah, that was all from my side. Do register. I hope the registration link has been shared with you all. So go on, guys, and yeah, that was all from my side. If you have any question or any doubts still, you can approach me through LinkedIn. Just search Saksham Lamba or Twitter as well. You will find me there. So yeah, that is there. Thank you so much, Anushka, for hosting me and for organizing this great event. And it was, I would say, a great experience to deliver this session. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Saksham, for taking an awesome and fabulous session. It was really insightful and worth it. So, guys, that's it for today's session. It was a part of the 36-hour virtual hackathon which the CrossKnot community is organizing. We have prizes for the top 8 winners and rewards for different categories like the Girls Power Hack, uh, everyone's rewards, and many more. We have shared the link to check out and apply for it in the live chat. And I hope you all enjoyed as much as I did and got to learn a lot from Saksham. Thanks, Saksham, again, and thank you so much, viewers, for staying
Thank
till
you.
the end. Thank you so much. Make sure to check out the hackathon. Thank you. Bye bye.
Thank you, guys.